Hello everyone and welcome to the penultimate round of the GP2 Offline Championship. I am George, your commentator for this race, and we are here at the Suzuka International Circuit in Japan for the penultimate race of the season. The last race, the Singapore Grand Prix, was won by Robert Hunter, and it was set to be the current championship leader and title winner Rifki Farkhossein, but he crashed with 3 laps to go, meaning that Robert Hunter was given the win. So that means that the title race is over. Well, it was already over, but now the race will be on for the battle for second place, which is between Franco Gamba and Robert Hunter. At the moment, Hunter is winning the battle, but we shall see coming into this race if that will change. So anyway, we will now head to the grid for this race. So it should be a very interesting race. We'll see if anyone can stop Farkhossein from winning another race. So on pole is Rifki Farkhossein, second Robert Hunter, third is Franco Gamba, fourth is Bruno de Barros, fifth Mario McClary, sixth is Luca Farina, seventh is William Duncan, and eighth is Joseph Molnar, the Scot. William Duncan, obviously the American driver. Ninth place is Franco Lopez, the Argentinian, and 10th place is Lucas Levi, the Singaporean driver. 11th place is Gabriel Gomez from Brazil, and 12th is Mario Rossi from Italy. 13th place is another American, Jeffrey Finguy. 14th place is the Irishman Sean Grant. 15th place is Michael Vortiger, the Belgian driver. 16th is Xavier Quinlan from Australia. 17th place is Sasha Banks from the US. 18th is David Greenwood from the UK. 19th place is Daniel Priscoda, the Polishman. 20th is Oliver Glazebrook from the UK. And on the final row of the grid, we have Patrick Juhas from Hungary and Robin Kules from Estonia. So that is the grid for the race, and now we will head to see what the weather will be like for the race. So let's have a look at the weather, and you can see it is set to be wet. At the moment it is dry, but as you can see, it is set to get harder as the race goes on, or at least it's going to be light rain as the race goes on, so the track is set to get wet, so that could be very interesting indeed. So it will be dry at the start, however, it will get wetter as the race goes on, so that will be very, very interesting indeed. So we will now head to the grid so we can start the race. So here we are on the grid. So Farkhossein on pole, second is Hunter, third is Gamba, fourth is de Barros, and fifth is Mario McClary. The lights are about to come on for the penultimate race of the season. We now have 3 lights, 4 lights, and we have 5 lights. And the lights are out, and away we go, and it looks like Farkhosein's made a good start. Hunter looks like he's made a good start in second place. And who's going to get the jump? Who's going to get the run down to the first corner? It looks like Farkhossein, there's a battle going on for third place. It looks like Bruno de Barros is trying to get through into third, and Hunter's trying to keep it round the outside of Rifki Farkhossein. You can see the rain is coming down, but it's very light at the moment as the track is dry. But Hunter is still in second. De Barros is third, as they all come through the S's, and it looks like they have all avoided contact so far. No collisions at all whatsoever. Farkhossein leads, Hunter is in second, de Barros is in third, Gamba will be in fourth, as they all come through the S's. So Farkhossein first, Hunter second, de Barros third, Gamba fourth, McClary in fifth. So a good start from de Barros as they head towards Degner, as de Barros is making a move on Hunter for second place. He's going to make a move on the inside, and Hunter goes wide, and that's going to lead the door for de Barros to take second place. And the Brazilian moves up into second, and Hunter's down to third, as there's Molnar in seventh, Farina sixth, Duncan eighth, as we head into the hairpin for the first time. So will Robert Hunter try and get back at de Barros for losing that place after going wide? As you can see, it's a nice sky up above. So we have a look through the order on the bottom of your screen. Glazebrook moved up a place, Juhas has moved up, the rain is still coming down, but Farkhossein has already got himself a lead to the current champion, and also now set to get a seat with Sauber for next season as he heads down the pit straight, heading towards 130R. So de Barros has actually, de Barros is, well, I was about to say de Barros has already got past Hunter, but he had already got past him. Now Joseph Molnar is trying to get past Luca Farina for 6th place as they head into the 130R. It's going to be side by side. Is Molnar going to hold it on the inside? He's still side by side, but he's going to be on the wrong side coming into the chicane. And Farina is set to keep 6th place as William Duncan is right there in 8th behind him. As now here comes Jeffrey Finguy, who's gone wide coming into the chicane, and he just about keeps it ahead of Lucas Levi and Michael Vortiger. As the rest of the cars come through, we've all avoided contact, so we've all managed to get through lap 1 without any problems whatsoever, as Quinlan's got past Sasha Banks for 16th place. Banks in the bright green car, as they now head down towards turn 1. rain still coming down, so it'll be interesting to see how wet the track will get come the end of the race. And there was a side-by-side there between Banks and I think that was Greenwood. As Ricky Parkinson comes through the S's for the first time. As he heads out of the last one, he heads towards Degner curve. As Daniel Priscosa goes wide, Daniel Priscosa in last place. He goes wide coming into the S's. And he's spun off into the gravel, and he's trying to rejoin, but he's not made a good exit. Oh, and he's gone into the wall. That's pretty horrendous driving there from Daniel Priscosa. And unfortunately, that has taken himself out of the race. I don't know what he was thinking there. He just went straight into the wall, just didn't really think. So I have no idea what he was thinking, but, well, let's go on board. So he was running in last place, and he just going through the first part of the S's. You see, he just slides the car, just a lot of understeer. He just goes off into the gravel trap. And unfortunately, he decides to rejoin into the wall. He doesn't realise that that is not where the track is. That is the wall. That's Fly Emirates, unless he wants to fly out of here to Brazil, maybe. But, well, anyway, the car gets pushed away off the track. Ricky Parkin's already got nearly a 2-second lead over de Barros, second place, who's got away from Hunter. So there's contact between, looked like Quiles and Glazebrook coming into the hairpin. But Glazebrook manages to avoid that as he still goes round currently in 20th place. Glazebrook, who's not had a great season so far. He has got a number of points finishes, but unfortunately, just not had a lot of luck. He's been involved in a lot of collisions so far this season. As there is a battle in front of him as they head towards between Patrick Uhas and David Greenwood, with Sasha Banks in front and Quinlan in front of that, as we're on board with the Barros coming into the chicane for the first time, for the second time I should say, and he comes out the chicane. I don't know if he's actually going to be closing up on Ricky Parkinson in front, but he wants to do that to see if he can try and get his first win of the season. He won obviously 2 races last season, 2 in a row, as Ricky Parkinson is the fastest lap, but now actually de Barros sets the fastest lap at 1:42.523. So at the moment the track is still pretty dry, so no need for any wet tyres or anything. I don't even know if the drivers will pit for wet tyres, but we will see. As the rain does seem to be coming down a bit harder now, as we look at Franco Gamba in third place, coming through the S's for the first time. And Franco Gamba, who's in the battle with Robert Hunter to get second place in the championship now that first place is is out of the bag, as that has been won by Ricky Parkinson. If Parkinson actually wins this, he will be the first driver to get onto 100 points in a GP2 season, as now here's Mario McClary trying to get past Robert Hunter for 4th place, and he tries to make the move stick, but he can't quite. He has to back off there coming into Degner. That will maybe give chance for Luca Farini to get through, as Molnar looks like he's just moved past William Duncan for 7th place, as Gabriel Gomez is in 9th and Lopez in 10th, who completes the top 10. As they head into the hairpin, Mark Hussein still out in front at the moment. He's got a comfortable lead, although de Barros looks like to be giving the to be taking the gap to Fark Hussein as he heads through the 2 left-handers coming onto the back straight before the 130R. So Fark Hussein, who obviously has got himself a seat with Sauber for next season, he'll be delighted with that, considering that he has just completely dominated and taken the championship by storm. It would have been kind of a shock if he hadn't really had not got a seat for next season, but anyway, as we look on board, it looks like with Joseph Molnar, who looks to be battling with William Duncan in 8th place, and is Duncan going to try and make a move into the chicane? Doesn't look like it. He's kept 7th place, so Duncan still stayed in 8th as we now head on to lap 4, coming onto the straight for the first time. Now here we are looking at Sasha Banks, who's battling with David Greenwood, as Franco Gamba now sits the fastest lap of the race at 1:42.3. We now head on to the straight, the battle for, looks like 17th place between Sasha Banks, between Greenwood, as they head into the first corner now. Greenwood's being overtaken by Patrick Uhas in the PK GP Renault car, and he can't quite make the move stick. Glazebrook's also going to be behind, as well as Quiles, to take advantage if any of these guys mess up. As Varkrazane comes through Degner, let's have a look at the gap. It's 1.7, so it looks to be staying around about 1.7. As now McClary's having another look at Hunter coming into Degner, but he still can't make the move stick. But that's still going to give a chance for Luca Farina to close up, but it looks like Farina's still trying to defend from Molnar and William Duncan. Also looks like Gabriel Gomez is behind as well, as McClary comes through the chicane. You can see it is getting very cloudy though, so I imagine it will probably start to get wet soon. So it is the battle for 17th. Banks, Glazebrook, Uhas, and of course Greenwood in this. Should be Banks, Greenwood, Uhas, and Glazebrook, I should say, to be correct. And Quiles also is just latching onto the back of these guys as well. So a good battle at the back of the field here. But it won't make any difference to these guys with regards to maybe drives in the top tier of next season, as Kearless is trying to look at Glazebrook coming into the spoon curve. Sasha Banks just about holds it from Greenwood, and Kearless can't quite get past Glazebrook behind. But Patrick Uhas is also right behind Greenwood, who's going to try and get past Sasha Banks coming down the straight. It's going to be side by side down the back straight, down the little pit on the right hand side as they head into the 130R. Greenwood's on the inside, but is he going to make the mistake? It doesn't look like it's side by side, but Patrick Uhas is going to try and make an overtake here if Greenwood's not careful, but he slots back in, and Uhas can't quite make the move stick, and neither can David Greenwood, as we look at Bruno de Barros in second place. You can see Ricky Parker in the distance, but it doesn't look like he can close on him. As here is Lucas Levi looking at Jeffrey Finguy for 13th place. As we have a look at the battle, having a look at the battles throughout the field, Aquila still in 21st, can't get past Oliver Glazebrook. Gamba's currently in a world of his own in 3rd place at the moment. As Greenwood's made a mistake coming in the first part of the S's, and now Patrick Uhas has got past, and he's held up Glazebrook and Kearless. And that was a silly mistake there from Greenwood, who's been tracing Sasha Banks for the past few laps. So that's unfortunate there for the Englishman. You can see he comes through. Maybe it's probably the rain that's maybe making the track slippery. You can see he just does the same thing actually that Daniel Priscoda did, but he goes wide. Unfortunately, doesn't go off. Lets Patrick Uhas go past, and that means that's given a chance for Kearless and Glazebrook to have a look at Greenwood if he's not careful. Greenwood, who has won a race this season, but unfortunately has only, aside from that win, has only scored and has only finished in the points once, aside from that win, which means he's only got 13 points. So it's been, you could say, quite a disappointing season for David Greenwood, who has been looking at trying to get a seat in the top tier for next season, but that doesn't probably look like it's going to happen at this moment in time. As now Moni McClary is still trying to get past Robert Hunter coming into Spoon, and he still can't make the move stick, but now he'll have a chance if he has enough straight line speed to get past him before the 130. And there's contact with Franco Lopez, and who is that? It's Sean Grant, and Sean Grant is standing in the middle of the track, and he's been hit by, I believe that is Jeffrey Finguy, and Finguy's lost his rear wing. There's a big traffic jam at Spoon Curve as the car's just trying to avoid Sean Grant sticking. Carl Lopez also gets going on the other side of the track, so it's unfortunate there for Lopez and Sean Grant involved in that crash. So let's have a look what happened on board with Sean Grant. So Grant was trying to get past Lopez for 10th place, and Lopez was blocking him off there, and he was on the inside, and I mean, it didn't look like Lopez saw him coming. I mean Grant did have a couple of wheels by the side, so looks like Rossi managed to avoid him, but unfortunately Finguy, I think he essentially got shoved by the cars behind him. Got shoved by, I think that was actually Lucas Levi who kind of shoved him, then the rest of them just piled in. So that's unfortunate there for Sean Grant, and Lopez has got away with damage, so he'll be able to recover, but Sean Grant's race is unfortunately ruined, as the Kappa looks like it's 1.9 between Farkas and De Barros, 1st and 2nd place. Now here is Sasha Banks, who is going past Jeffrey Finguy, who's going to have to go into the pits, of course, with that front wing, as he now heads around the chicane, and now he heads into the pits. So Patrick Uhas gets held up, so that'll give a chance for David Greenwood to get past. Now Greenwood's going to be on the inside, and now Glazebrook's trying to get past Robin Kearless. So it looks like we missed Kearless getting past Glazebrook, but it's side by side, 4 abreast, you could say, but unfortunately neither Glazebrook nor Greenwood could get past their respective cars, Kearless and Patrick Uhas. As we're now on to lap 6 of this race, Sean Grant in the pits, as you can see. The cars still following each other through the S's. As we look once again, Eric Farkas in the lead. There's De Barros. There is Franco Gamba in 3rd place. Obviously well away from Hunter, who's still holding on. As now here's a battle between Jerry Quillen, and he's got past Lucas Levi coming into the Degner curve. And he's made the move 6. A good move there from Quillen to get past Lucas Levi. Whereas Levi going to try and make a move back coming into the hairpin, but I don't think he's close enough. And he doesn't, as now we're on board with Franco Gamba. Currently a test driver in Formula 1, but not sure exactly what seat he's going to get. But now McClary is still trying to get past Hunter. He's been trying for pretty much 6 laps now. And is he going to finally make a move coming into 130R? It's side by side between him and... No, he can't quite make the move stick. As we look at Ricky Parker as Molnar gets past Farina. And now Quinlan looks like... we knew he'd got past Lucas Levi. So let's have a look at the gap between Parker and De Barros. It's now 1.7. It's come down from 1.8. So it's kind of going around between 1.8 and 1.9 seconds. Now Glazebrook is trying to get past Robin Quiles for 17th place, and is he going to make a move on the inside coming to 130R? No, Glazebrook, sorry, can't quite get past, can't quite get through, and he stays behind Quiles. Will have another chance to do it coming on to the pit straight. So will he have the slipstream? Looks like actually Quiles managed to get away there pretty significantly. Got a good exit coming off the chicane. As now Patrick Juhas actually sets the fastest lap of the race, a 142.81, 142.18 I should say, 186 to be exact. Franco Gamba, let's have a look. He's got a 7-second gap to Robert Hunter. McClary's still trying to get past. He's going to be sick of the sight of Hunter's car, but he looks like he's finally got past coming into Degner. He tried the move so many times and he's failed, but he's finally pulled it off. If he can't do it, keep trying, try again, and he's finally done it. But now that gives a chance for Luca Farina to get past Hunter if he's not careful. As we look at Bruno de Barros, and speaking of Oliver Glazebrook, he's still trying to get past Quiles for 17th, and he can't quite make the move stick. Fortunately for Quiles, he's holding up Glazebrook because now he's dropped away from Sasha Banks and Greenwood out in front. Glazebrook trying to make a move into the hairpin. I don't think many moves have actually been done in the hairpin, let alone in the GP2 race or in the top tier race. As Gamba makes his way through the 130 yards. Now Joseph Molnar is trying to get himself past Robert Hunter for 5th place. It's good for Gamba at the championship. For 2nd place, it can't quite make the move stick, Molnar on Robert Hunter, but he's going to try as he get into the chicane. Not quite. He's probably going to have a go at the straight though, because that's his next chance to. As they now come on to the pit straight, we're now at the halfway point of the race, lap 8 of 16, and it looks like Hunter has got away from Molnar. He's got a good exit out the chicane, and he's going to hold him off unless he has a monumental mistake going into the first corner, but that's not going to happen, and he keeps the 5th place. So currently we still only had one car retire from this race. The rain looks like at the moment it has stopped. Doesn't look like it is raining at the moment from what we can see, so that rain at the moment has died off, but it is meant to get heavier by the end of the race, so we will have to wait and see as we look at Franco Gamba chasing down Bruno de Barros for 2nd place. He's got a comfortable gap over Marion McClary in 3rd, an 8-second gap to be exact. So now Joseph Molnar trying on Robert Hunter for 5th place. Can't quite make the move stick coming into Degner as they go under the bridge. And there's a battle there between Luca Farina and it looks like Gabriel Gomez, and Gabriel Gomez looks to complete the move up into the points. So Gabriel Gomez gets into 8th place, the Brazilian, to try and get his first point since Silverstone, which was a few races ago. Hasn't quite happened for Gomez. I know Gomez has been one of the drivers who has really wanted to get a top tier seat, but unfortunately, I mean, he's not really had the chance to. I mean, he has tried to have a go. I mean, considering that Sasha Banks last season in 2009 had a pretty poor season in GP2, and she's not really had a great season here either, but she managed to race once for Toyota, whereas Gomez hasn't. It'll probably be a bit hard done by, as now Patrick Juhas is trying to have a go at Mikael Vortiger for 12th place, as they both actually got past Lucas Levi. So I think Lucas Levi's must have made a mistake somewhere that we haven't seen. But now Patrick Juhas is having a go at Mikael Vortiger coming through into the 130R. Is Juhas going to make a move on the inside? It's very close side by side. And has Juhas done it? And the answer is yes, he has. He's moved up to 12th place. Good move there from Patrick Juhas, setting the fastest lap of the race, which means at the moment he will get 2 bonus points, which well, I suppose it could be useful in his championship, but for him in the championship at least, you can see the gap still 1.8 to the Barros. It's just raging between 1.7 and 1.8. It's not really changed at all that much throughout this race for Ricky Farquharson, but he's just currently controlling out in front. There's not really any danger or anything from anyone else. And the top 3 are well away from everyone else, and Hunter's still trying to defend from Molnar from 6th place. It looks like he is. He's had to slow down considerably coming into Degner. There's a bit of a lock-up there from Greenwood, and it looks like the rain has come back, and there's another lock-up from Greenwood as he comes through the next part of the SS. So he's struggling here at the moment, Greenwood. Not his race at all, as he's right behind Sasha Banks as they come through into Degner. The rain has come back pretty significantly all of a sudden, so I think now we might see where the track is going to become wetter now. So Greenwood chasing Sasha Banks, and then Lucas Levi's out in front. You can see clouds coming over, and it probably looks like the track is starting to probably get a bit wet now as the rain starts to come down. It's currently 1.8 seconds. The gap has been raging at that pretty much the whole race between Farquharson and de Barros. But Farquharson comes through as now here's Joseph Molnar still making the move on Robert Hunter for 6th place, and now that's bringing William Duncan into it as well behind, And Molnar needs to get past quick, otherwise that will bring Duncan into the mix. And Duncan will try and have a go soon. William Duncan, who's also won a race this season. He won, I believe it was the Hungarian Grand Prix that I think he won. After Ricky Park's collision on the first lap, which meant he had to pit. Still scored points, but he finished low down in the points, which is very rare for him, considering that he doesn't. Well, aside from winning, he usually wins all the time. That's basically how to sum it up. So now here is a battle between Michael Vortiger and Oliver Glazebrook, and it's not Michael Vortiger, it is in fact Robin Quiles. And now Franco Lopez has caught these guys up. Glazebrook, who's been stuck behind Quiles this whole race, and unfortunately it's not been a good race for him. As they come down the pit straight, Robin Quiles in front of Oliver Glazebrook, and they've been passing each other throughout the race, and it hasn't changed really. But now Franco Lopez is going to come in. As now Hunter's defending from Duncan and from Molnar, and Molnar, who's not got past Hunter, has cost him dearly, as William Duncan has made the move to 6th place. A good move by the American there, and Duncan moves up into 6th place, so good move there from William Duncan. Now he's going to try and go for the top 5 to get past Robert Hunter, who seems to be struggling for pace in this race. He's dropped down the order. He dropped obviously behind Gambry, dropped behind McClary, who was stuck behind him for a lot of the race, for the first 6 laps at least, but they finally got past. Now Farquharson comes through 130 yards. It's now down to 1.6 the gap, but we don't know how much that will change as the rain comes. As Ricky Farquharson comes through the chicane and he comes onto the straight. Now here is Franco Gamba, who seems to be closing, or is it just me? He seems to be closing on De Barros in front of him. He said there's no danger behind from McClary. Now Oliver Glazebrook trying to get past Quiles, coming into Spoon Curve, but he can't quite do it. As he now comes through the second part of the Spoon Curve, he's right behind Quiles, coming onto the back straight. He's now probably going to have a move on Quiles before that he goes into 130R, or maybe into the chicane even. Now here's Franco Gamba, who does seem to be closing a little bit on Bruno De Barros in front of him, so he could have a battle actually here for 2nd place. And De Barros, who himself looks like he might be closing up to Ricky Parkrazane up in front, we will see. But the gap at the moment is 9 tenths. Well, it's now down to 8 tenths, as you can see on the top of your screen. So it is closing, and actually the gap is obviously closing up front as well. So actually we could have a battle soon, possibly for the lead. We can only hope, because Parkrazane has not exactly been able to streak away at this moment in time. As we're on board with Franco Gamba coming out of the hairpin as he heads towards Spoon Curve. He comes through the right-hander. So at the moment the gap between De Barros and Farquharson is 1.6 seconds. Here Patrick Uhas trying to get through into 11th place, and is he going to make the move stick? And not quite. Is he on the right? No, he still can't get past Mario Rossi, and he's going to have to wait probably until he comes to the maybe into Spoon, but also probably most likely down the back straight for 130R. Those are his main chances of overtaking as they come through the hairpin, as Patrick Uhas is right behind Mario Rossi. He seems to have picked up the pace all of a sudden after setting that fastest lap. As now the gap is down to 1.5 to Farquharson, so it looks like they are closing, but Gamba is certainly getting closer to Ricky Farquharson at the moment in time, as Sasha Banks has dropped all the way down to 19th, so I think something's happened to her. On the bottom of your screen, we've got 5 laps to go. The rain is coming down, so I imagine the track is going to get slower as the track does get wetter. And De Barros will be looking for his first win of the season. Gamba will also try and look to see if he can get a win as well, to boost his chances of 2nd place in the championship. Glazebrook having another look on Quiles coming into 130R, and he can't quite make the move stick, so we're going to find out actually what happened to Sasha Banks. And oh, it looks like she went off, so she was running in 15th place. I thought I saw her drop a few positions, and coming into Degner, was she overtaken by Greenwood? And yes, she was. She went wide and she lost it, and she spun, and she managed to get going, but she had to wait for the cars to come past. So that was unlucky there for Sasha Banks, as he had to wait for Quiles, Glazebrook and Franco Lopez to go past. So that's an unfortunate mistake by Sasha Banks. Not really been her season at all. She's languishing at the bottom of the championship standings at the moment. Not really happened for her this season, as she comes through 130R and heads for the chicane. Jeffrey Finguy obviously still in 20th running. Obviously Sean Grant currently running in last place. As you can see, the gap is definitely coming down. It's down from 1.5 to 1.3 at the front between Farquharson and De Barros, as Gamba obviously is also closing up behind to Bruno De Barros, as as he comes through the hairpin, does Ricky Farquharson, as Molnar is trying to get past Robert Hunter for 6th place, and Gabriel Gomez could be brought into this if they're not careful. Hunter, who's fallen down the order from 2nd place, I don't know what's happened to him, but that won't doing good for runners-up in the championship, and also possibly maybe even for a seat next year, we don't know. Obviously, the desire to get into the top tier is very, very high amongst these drivers. A lot of them have been trying for it for 2 seasons now to get into the top tier for season 11. Obviously, we have a number of them, such as Quinlan, such as a lot of the GP2 drivers have got, such as Bruno de Barros, have got test driver seats with certain teams for next season. Franco Lopez is one of them as well. You can see the track is now officially become wet. You can see the spray that's coming off the cars now, so it proves how much the track has rained. But I don't think the cars are going to bother going into the pits. But that means, well, it'll be very, very interesting to see how the cars will take these wet conditions. As the gap at the moment, I think, is roughly probably 1.3 seconds still. The gap is between de Barros and Gamba's 0.7 seconds. So it's becoming very, very close between those two. So de Barros, who I think is falling away maybe slightly from Farquharson up in front. It looks like he is, but we've still got 3 laps to go, so anything could still happen in this race. As we're on board with de Barros coming through part of the S's. And he comes through the left-hander as he heads towards Degner curve. As now here is Franco Lopez, who is behind Quiles, as Glazebrook looks to have finally got past Quiles. So well done to him. He's been behind, I think, stuck behind him for pretty much the whole race, but he's finally got through, which is what he wanted. So now here we are on board Franco Gamba, who is now really close to de Barros for 2nd place, and that won't do good for the front. Although de Barros seems to have closed up suddenly on Farquharson, so I don't know if he's made a mistake somewhere, Farquharson, but he was definitely further ahead at the start of the lap before the S's, but de Barros has closed up on him. It's now down to 1.2 seconds, the gap between the leaders, as Farquharson comes through the first part of the spoon curve, comes through the first lap. Now he comes through the second lap. It's only half a second between Gamba and Barros as they head through the spoon curve, and Gamba might even get the slipstream if he's close enough to de Barros. I'm not sure if he has, but it could be. We will see as the 3 cars come through the 130R. De Barros, who will want to get his first win of the season. He's had a mixed season, de Barros, but he's doing pretty well. I mean, he's inside the top 10 of the championship, which I think is probably what he would have hoped for, certainly. But now Franco Gamba is right close to Bruno de Barros coming onto the straight. He's certainly got a better run out the chicane than de Barros did, but I don't know if Gamba's going to be close enough to make a move into the first corner. We've only got 3 laps to go as they head through, and de Barros keeps 2nd place for the moment, but how long will he be able to keep it from Franco Gamba? It's going to be very, very close between the two. Farquharson just up ahead. You can see these guys that are coming close and hoping they are battling, and it looks like Gamba is right behind de Barros. De Barros is struggling here. He made, I think, a bit of a mistake coming into the S's, and now Gamba is right behind. We could have a battle on for 2nd place here, as there's a battle for 7th now between Hunter and Gabriel Gomez, and there's a battle for 30th between Levi and Mikhail Vortiga, and it's side by side between Franco Lopez and Robin Quiles coming through 130R, and Franco Lopez is on the outside, so he's not going to make the move stick past Mikhail Vortiga. So now here comes Sasha Banks, who's closing up on these two, but Gamba's got past de Barros. Gamba has got past Bruno de Barros for 2nd place. So how has he done that? So coming out of the S's, heading towards Degner, and Gamba seemed to have got the slipstream, and he just went round the outside, and he just got on the slippery stuff there, de Barros, and he had to unfortunately slow down so he wouldn't go off the track. You see, he was struggling to steer there. He got quite a lot of understeer coming out the corner, struggling for grip, and Gamba has got 2nd place. So now Franco Gamba is going to have a chance to maybe have a go at Ricky Farquharson. So we could have a fascinating end to the race here, folks, as Franco Gamba comes into the hairpin. Will he be able to close on Farquharson before the end? Farquharson, who has not got away as much as I think probably everyone would have expected, having seen his dominance so far this season, as he's been known to win most of his races by at least 10 or 20 seconds, which is a lot in racing terms. Maybe not be a lot to certain people, but in racing terms, that's quite a lot. So now Gamba comes through the spoon, or is run with Ricky Farquharson, the leader, the championship winner. He wants probably just to get this win just for pride, really, as now all is a battle here for 12th place between Rossi, Vortiga, Greenwood and Lucas Levi, as all these guys have stacked themselves up coming into Degner, as is the battle for 12th place. Vortiga, I think, been stuck behind Rossi for quite a few laps now. Lucas Levi has dropped down the field a bit. Greenwood is closed up to these guys, so they come into the hairpin line astern one by one behind each other. As Ricky Foxen comes through the hairpin, Gamba seems to be closing on. Oh, Franco Lopez has gone off again. Franco Lopez has had a pretty horrendous race, and that has just compounded it right there. He goes off the track and he drops all the way down to the back again. He drops behind Jeffrey Finn, guys. How did he do that? So he was trying to get past Robin Quiles, and he actually got past, but then he went wide. He just couldn't steer the car around the corner, and Banks, Vortiger, and then Jeffrey Finn guy all went past. So that unfortunately sums up Lopez's race. Had the collision there with Sean Grant. Got back going again, but unfortunately, here he got a bit too greedy. He wasn't really going to get anything out of the race, but unfortunately it's not happened for him, as Ricky Foxen still leads. We're on the penultimate lap of the race. Gamba still a distance away, still 1.2 away. So he still does have a chance, but he probably needs Foxen to maybe make a mistake to have a proper chance to have a go. De Barros is dropping away in third place at the moment as he comes through the S's for the penultimate time, as does Franco Gamba ahead. Ricky Foxen leading, as now Greenwood trying to get past Levi, going around the outside of him, coming into the chicane, into the Dunlop chicane, but he can't quite make the move stick, as Vortiger being held up by Mario Rossi up in front of him. So this could be a battle on for the end of the race, so we will see. As Jeffrey Fingard, as you can see, I think he already got past Lopez ages ago, but now Greenwood is right behind Lucas Levi. He's going to probably try and make a move coming into the first corner. If he's close enough, he's getting the slipstream, he's going very, very quickly here, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move coming into the first corner, and he doesn't quite make it stick. As now Franco Gamba has actually closed up considerably on Ricky Farquharson, so he must have had a fantastic first sector, because he's very, very close to his Gamba, and you can see he's right behind him coming into the hairpin. We could have a battle on at the end of the race here for the win, as Franco Gamba is in second place. He wants to get that win. He wants to get the runners-up place of the championship, as they all kind of run a bit wide there, coming through the right-hander, heading to the spoon curve. As Franco Gamba at the moment is looking for this win. He's hungry as he goes a bit wide there. I think the cars are struggling on these tyres, but there's no point in pitting now because there's one lap to go, so there'll be no point in doing anything like that. As Gamba currently looking at Farquharson, he's right behind him. You can see him in his mirrors, kind of Farquharson, but can he hold on? He's not really used to this kind of pressure. He's used to winning these races by a comfortable margin, but this is certainly anything but comfortable for him at the moment. The gap between Gamba and De Barros is increasing, as now Gamba is right behind Farquharson going into the chicane, and Farquharson in fact actually defends, and oh, he goes wide. Farquharson, he goes wide into the chicane, and that's allowed Gamba to come right behind him coming out the exit, and maybe even could allow De Barros to catch up, but that was a mistake there by Farquharson. I was just saying to him about pressure, and it seems to have got to him there, as it now is now Gamba right behind him coming onto the final lap of the race. Gamba's going on the inside, heading into the first corner. Is he going to make the move stick to take the win? And win for Franco Gamba would be great for him, but it doesn't look like he can do it, as Farquharson goes a bit wide coming into the final corner, as Mario Rossi has gone off coming into the spoon curve, as he's spun and lost a few positions. So that's unfortunate for Mario Rossi, who was battling Michael Vortiger, and it looks like Vortiger actually had gone past him as they came into the spoon, and Rossi just went wide, having Vortiger just gone past him, and he spins across the track. Lucky no one collects him there, but so that's unfortunate there for Mario Rossi. He drops a few positions, but now we need to go back to the battle. So here's Franco Gamba. He's right behind Farquharson on the final lap of the race. A battle for the win here between these two drivers that really well, one of them will go into the top tier next season. The other one really wants to get into the top tier as well, having already been test driver for Toro Rosso. Franco Gamba is right behind Farquharson as they come through the left-hander at the end of the S's, and now they head towards Degner for the final time. And will Franco Gamba make his move? The chances he'll have, he might have a chance on the hairpin if he's close enough. If not, then he'll probably have a chance at either 130R or even the final Dunlop chicane. De Barros just in the distance there, as Gamba is right behind Farquharson coming into the hairpin for the final time. Gamba's right behind, and De Barros is actually closing up there in the background. So here comes Bruno De Barros right closing up to these two, as Franco Gamba is right behind as they head towards the end. And oh, there was nearly contact there between the two. It looked like they were going very slowly. Nearly contact between the two as Gamba trying to get move on the inside. And great battling here for the lead as they head towards the spoon curve for the final time. Farquharson goes wide again. They all seemingly go wide, but De Barros is catching up here. But they're all going very wide, struggling on these tyres, probably because of how wet the track is. But Franco Gamba is going to be right behind Ricky Farquharson. He's got two chances. One chance is in 130R. The other chance is at the Dunlop chicane. He can't blow these chances. He's going on the inside of the 130R. Is he going to have enough, though? I'm not sure, and he doesn't. He stays behind Ricky Farquharson, and he looks to be a distance away. He has to make a late dive bomb if he wants to make a move into the final chicane, and he can't do it. And DeBarros is making a move on the inside for second place. And that has just gifted the win to Ricky Farquharson. And DeBarros tries to get past Gamma, but he can't do it. But as they come down the pit straight for the final time, Ricky Farquharson is set to win a very dramatic Japanese Grand Prix here in the GP2 series, and he reaches the 100 points mark in the series. Congratulations to him. Gamma takes second, DeBarros third. Mario McClary actually caught up well to these guys. He comes in fourth place. William Duncan will take a very impressive fifth place. Good result there for the American as he will come across the line. In fifth place, it looks like Molnar will be in sixth place. As he comes across the line, Molnar will be sixth. No, Lucas Levi's off, and it's going, oh my goodness me, that's David Greenwood, and his car's absolutely destroyed. So what's happened there? And oh, okay, what has happened? So it's a battle for 13th between Greenwood and Lucas Levi. And Levi was on the inside. He seemed to be on the inside, and there was contact. And oh my god! And Greenwood's car just absolutely disintegrated there. Holy dangly parts. Holy crap. That is an incredible crash. Oh my goodness me. And wow, that was a very, very big crash there between Greenwood and Lucas Levi. So, I mean, Levi was on the inside. He had the line, but I don't think maybe Greenwood realised he was there. I mean, that was... I think that probably goes a racing incident, although I think, as I say, Greenwood probably should have known he was there, but that is a horrendous crash. I wouldn't be surprised if Greenwood has any injuries from that one. But oh my goodness me, and wow, that is some crash there. The car just absolutely disintegrates on impact as the car lifts up and goes into the Rolex sign as we go onward. So we're probably going to have a look at slow motion. So he comes around, so obviously there is Levi on the inside, then he gets clipped up, and he almost goes on his side there, but the impact is pretty big, and so is the impact going into the tyre barrier there. So that is a humongous crash for David Greenwood, as he is going to unfortunately retire from this race, and there'll probably be doubts as to if he'll even get to the final round of this thing, because I mean, I imagine the injuries will be quite bad. But Hunter will come home in 7th place, Gomez will come at 8th, Quinlan 9th, Juhas in 10th, 11th place will be Luca Farina. So he actually dropped a few positions at the end. Mikael Vortiga is set to come home in 12th place. Not a brilliant race for him, but at least he pretty much stayed out of trouble, so I suppose that'll be good for him. So he'll come home in 12th place. Looks like Oliver Glazebrook is going to come home in 13th place. As we look down the order, as now over the line it comes Oliver Glazebrook in 13th. 14th place will be Mario Rossi after that spin a lap ago. So not the race that he probably would have wanted, but anyway, he comes across the line in 16th place. And in 15th place will be Jeffrey Finguy, who obviously got involved in the crash with him. And obviously Sean Grant, as now over the line comes Sasha Banks and Robin Keeles for 16th and 17th. 18th place will go to Franco Lopez. And 19th place, of course, will be Sean Grant, who of course got involved in that crash at the beginning, or with, I should say, Franco Lopez and Jeffrey Finguy, I should say. But there is your winner of the race, Ricky Farquharson. Well done to him, another win in the championship, as we will have a look at the full race results. So Farquharson wins with Franco Gamba second, Bruno de Barros third, Mario McClary fourth, William Duncan fifth, Joseph Monar sixth, Robert Hunter 7th, and Gabriel Gomez completes the points in 8th, with Quinlan 9th, Juhas 10th, Farina 11th, Vordiger 12th, Glazebrook 13th, Rossi 14th, Finguy 15th, Kilo 16th, Banks 17th, Lopez 18th, Sean Grant 19th, with Greenwood, Levi, and Briscoe all retiring, although Greenwood and Levi obviously still classified, having crashed on the final lap of the race. So the fastest lap of the race went to, I believe it was Patrick Juhas, and it was, and actually Xavier Quinlan was actually the second fastest, Gamba 3rd, McCleary 4th, De Barros 5th, Farquharson 6th, Finguy 7th, Grant 8th, Duncan 9th, David Greenwood in 10th, Gabriel Gomez in 11th, Joseph Molnar in 12th, Lucas Levi 13th, Glazebrook 14th, Robert Hunter 15th, Luca Farina 16th, Mikael Vortiga in 17th place, Franco Gamba in 18th, Sasha Banks in 19th, Keeles 20th, Rossi 21st, and obviously Briscoe in last, as he retired on the second lap of the race. So here are the points standings and also the constructors standings. So in the driver's standings, Farquharson with 5 wins now leads by almost 51 points, I should say, ahead of Gamba in second. Hunter is third with 48, McClary fourth with 38, De Barros fifth with 31, Duncan sixth with 25, Farina 7th with 24, Juhas with 20, Lopez with 19, Quinlan 16, Grant 14, Green with 13, Levi Molnar with 11, Gomez with 10, Finguy with 9, Glazebrook with 8, Makamo 6, Keeles 5, Mikael Wojcicki with 4, Rossi with 3, Risgoda with 3, and Sasha Banks with 2. And in the constructors, Bauer and Dax are the championship winners in that one with 5 wins and with 113 points. Trident second with 58, Dams third with 55, FMS International fourth with 43, Art with 39, Supernova 34, Arn International 33, Racing Engineering 32, Ocean Racing with 25, PK Sports 23, and Iceball International with 18 points. Well, that has been the GP2 race at Suzuka. I hope you guys really enjoyed the race like I did. If not, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Anyway, we will see you for the final race of the season, which will be at the Brazilian Grand Prix. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I've been George, and we will see you in Brazil. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.